I don't
Questions to the universe.
Yes. I have no questions for the universe.
Anything. Like, are you hungry?
Is the universe hungry? You want me to ask a question that the universe is supposed to answer?
Correct, absolutely correct.
Like, I'm trying to figure out a riddle that the universe...
No, the first one. You have to ask the
universe, the universe, are you hungry? Because
No.
if you are, it is the holiday season. I would like to share my food with you.
question. With the universe.
With the universe. Yep, yum, yum, yum.
No, the camera is not there.
Oh,
You are
where's the
feeding the screen of the universe. You have
Okay. It's hard, yes.
you have to feed the eye of the universe.
Behind? I gotta get...
Yeah, over there is the camera. Yeah, you see where is the camera? It's right there.
Okay.
So feed.
Oh, there, yum, yum.
Yum, 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 yum. Ah, now the universe is not so...
I think it's not so hungry. I think that just like people are very much like the universe, that if the universe gets hungry, if it's lacking in resources, if a person is hungry, they get grumpy, you know? They start to get argumentative. They get, and then they need to take a break and they need to eat. And then if we replenish the resources of the universe,
How this could be possible? A good question. How could be the universe out of resources, and how could be the humanity out of resources?
how is it possible for
Who implanted in people's minds this idea of lack of resources?
No one implanted in my mind that there are finite amount.
Finite?
Yes, I mean there is a certain amount that resources do replenish themselves.
Is it
To a certain degree, but
is it the
if you take too much, it's like the story of the golden goose, which I will not repeat because it's a very famous story that most
say the
people...
story about the golden goose,
The
because
golden goose.
some of these people do not know the story of the golden goose.
Story of the golden goose. There was a farmer who had a goose, and it could lay golden eggs, and once a day it would lay a solid gold egg that was worth a lot of money. And then, but in the story, because we want to be politically correct, in the story, the villain of the story is the wife of the farmer. But it could have just as well been the cousin of the farmer, or the brother of the farmer,
or the mother, or the father,
the daughter, or...
But at this case was his wife. Okay.
In the way that I was told the story, but it doesn't matter because I grew up to respect and love women and treat them equally. But what happened is in this particular version, the wife said, "Well, I want more gold, I want more gold. That's not enough. One
need two golden eggs.
I want 2 golden eggs. So let's just kill the golden goose. Then let's take the golden goose and let's cut up his stomach and take all of his eggs."
What a brilliant logic.
Well, it wasn't so brilliant.
There's a sub question here. Are women that logical?
No, most women would be more intelligent than to think that if they killed the golden goose, that they would take 100 golden eggs all at once. I believe that most women
So what's the moral
understand.
of how the story ends up, and what's the moral of the story? That's the end of the story?
That if you want too much, too quickly, you will end up with nothing.
I see.
It's a story about greed. It's a story...
Are people greedy? That's another question. Well, since the guy was the good guy and the woman was the bad woman, are women more greedy than the guys? That's just a sub question.
In general, like
is this golden goose story applies the idea that women are more greedy than the man?
I think that the way that this particular story was told, it implied that, but the moral.
That anybody could happen to him.
I believe that.
If the wife was the owner of the goose, the man would have
he very
been
well could have.
greedy.
And in other cultures, there may be similar stories where there are different gender roles reversed, or different socio-political. It could be someone from the government who comes in and says, "I
need
want
more
all
eggs."
the money from the eggs." Yes.
Let's increase the eggs from the people from 37% to 91%. This historically happened in America. If you don't know which president was implying this idea, and he actually did.
You're talking about the Industrial Revolution, or you're talking about capitalism? I'm not exactly
No, we're
sure.
talking about taxes.
Oh, we're talking about, okay, taxes.
Yeah, at one
Herbert
point.
Hoover, am I correct? Well, at one point, that there used to be a 90% tax bracket.
Correct.
Yes.
Too many golden eggs. But people was giving the golden eggs to the golden government. Okay, so now you have a question to ask.
I don't have a question to the universe. I
just have the
forgot
story?
exactly how we got here. I was just, it's a little cold outside, and I was having a little meal, so I was warming up.
Oh, you wanted to feed the universe. That was the original.
Oh, there we are. Yes, that's right.
I
did.
asked the question about the resources.
Yes, and the resources. Yes, and the resources do. Now, resources do replenish themselves, but then resources do get taken away. So there is a balance that you cannot. That's how we got onto the story of the golden goose. I think it's even though I think there was a little bit of sexism there, making the wife the evil person. I think it's a very good story with it. It's a very good parable that people can learn. That you cannot take too much away from the universe.
It's 7 minutes. We gotta close Say something smart before we close the video. Tell them to subscribe.
That is the smartest thing I can think of doing. I think that you should.
Tell them if they want more golden eggs to subscribe immediately.
I cannot promise them golden eggs, but I think that they should.
You have to.
Questions for the universe will be answered one at a time.
Yes.
And this is a food for thought.
Soul food.
Soul food.
Soul food for the brain.
Food. Yes, soul food for the brain and for the heart, and maybe for the future of humanity. We don't know how much is at stake here. We're trying this little project, and then what comes off the top of my head might come off the top of somebody else's head. And if enough people agree, like John Lennon said, when all the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer. Let it be. Please subscribe to Questions
to the Universe.
To the universe.
To the universe.
Not for the universe, to the universe.
Well, I want to tell you now the reality, that if you guys subscribe, we're going to kill all the gooses.
No!
And we're going to give it to all the golden eggs, we're going to give it to you. But you have to subscribe. Tell them. Tell them the truth.
I refuse to.
You refuse to kill gooses?
I think that this is not
the proper way to do it.
No, this is not an ethical YouTube channel.
Okay, okay, it's not very ethical, so we have to revert. I promise you, if you subscribe to the channel, I will never ever kill any goose, and will never give you the golden egg. So you be the judge. If you want golden eggs.
Well, I mean, you see, I'm not that much of an animal rights activist that I think that, maybe for the purposes of medical research, to save human lives, it might be okay to use gooses. There might be some other.
Which one is more valuable? Black life matters, goose life matters, or?
I place human lives over goose's lives. That is a silly question, and I think you are a silly goose.
I'm a silly goose, and if you are a silly goose, you have to immediately subscribe. So subscribe, because we only have 20 seconds to finish
Very
this.
good. I didn't want to take up all the time.
15 seconds to finish this nonsense.
Okay, finish it. End it with a bang.
With who?
End it with a bang. End it with 15 seconds. You have the floor. Give
Here.
him some broccoli. The
Yeah.
universe will fart.
Oh,
and it
the
will smell really
yes.
bad.
And the broccoli
fart.
broccoli can turn from green to brown color. For all subscribers, subscribe. You know how green broccoli turns into brown colors. You know that very well.
Okay.
If you don't subscribe, this will happen to you as well.
Okay. That's my